Are you ready to have some fun? My family is hanging out here, and thank you for coming to my side of the world so I don't have to travel over to the UK to see you. Jade, it's so amazing to have you back in New York City.
Thank you. Gosh. It's always a pleasure coming here to see you.
And it's on the heels of when we last caught up with each other at the Brit Awards. Such a beautiful, big night. I first want to start with how did that feel, not only to perform, but to step across the stage and accept an award, your very first solo for Best Pop?
Yeah, I still can't believe it, to be honest. Don't get me wrong, I think it's well deserved.
Yes, it is. Yes, very much so.
But that whole night was like a blur. I can't remember the performance. When I won the award, I don't know what I said. But it was so nice to see you on the red carpet. I was like, it was the little slice of like
that's what I'm there for.
Yeah, peace that I needed in that chaotic night.
It was very chaotic, but I do recall in the moment also, if you don't recall, that we were chatting and then the girls of Flow made their way over. You guys had a proper freak out moment.
We did.
And there was a couple of like, I fucking love you. I fucking love you. Oh my God, what's happening? And you're getting ready for such a momentous night. But what I want to get to is how powerful does it feel for you to continue to create and be adored and to be able to be acknowledged for all that you've done?
Yeah, it's crazy. I honestly feel like lucky and just grateful every day that I get to do this because I genuinely love it.
Yes.
And especially that Brit Awards night, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is everything I've dreamed of.
For sure.
Obviously with the group, we reached so many milestones, we were so successful, and that was a dream come true, but it definitely like hits different when it's your own music that you've written and you're being celebrated for. And just being there, dressing up in like a princess gown. So I was just living my like childhood fantasy. Do you know what I mean? Like when I was little watching, like MTV or all these big award shows, and I'd see these pop stars looking all glam and they go up for the award and then they do a performance. Like that's what I've always dreamed of doing since I was a little girl. And I feel like the Brit Awards that night was like, okay, like we've arrived.
Yeah. And as you mentioned, to be able to perform and be celebrated for your music, what does this album, what do these songs mean to you? I mean, you capitalize the title of this album, that's showbiz, baby, all capital letters. Like, this is me, I'm out there. What do these songs mean to you when we finally get a hold of them come September?
Oh gosh, everything. I mean, this whole process, my first solo record, has been like genuinely like monumental in my Jade life because it's been years in the making, coming out of the group. At first I really struggled with who am I on my own, like what's my sound, literally having to just remember like who I was before that, because even though I loved it, it was time to just fall in love with myself and who I am and what my music was going to be. So it took some time. And I think the album is an embodiment of, like self-discovery, experimenting with, sounds and who I am. It is a bit of a chaotic album. And I think that's what I wanted. I wanted people to be let in on that experience of like, oh, she's trying this sound with this track. Or, we've got songs like Angel My Dreams that's very chaotic. Or we've got Fantasy, which is this sort of Motown influence. And it's all these little pieces of myself that I'd kind of forgotten about or kind of put back into this record. And so it's really beautiful, and can't wait for everyone to hear it.
That's got to be so special to discover those parts of who you are and to be so proud of them enough to want to share that with the world and to see people who are just clamoring for you and just for your heart and soul. When you were creating these songs and when you were creating this album, did you feel like you were in a proper space and you were prepared for all this?
Yeah, I think my first part of that journey was to get in the studio with people that I did already know, like Eminike, someone that's a dear friend of mine, just so I could sit comfortably with someone and get it wrong a lot first.
For sure.
Because it is a lot of pressure, especially when I get flown over to LA and I'm in these rooms with, huge songwriters and producers, and sometimes you only get a day with them and you think, oh God, like, I've got to go in there, I've got to write a hit, I've got to show them that I'm an amazing songwriter. And that, the minute you go in there with that attitude, you'll come out of it with a crap song because you're trying too hard, that pressure on yourself. So, the first kind of year or so in the studio was me figuring out who I loved working with, who did I feel safe with. And one of the main people within that process was Mike Sabbath.
Wow.
He did the Ray record. He's worked with Camila Cabello. He's had such a good run, and I'd not seen him for years. We wrote a song called Wasabi together, which I always thought it was a Little Mix song, but it was probably the most like me, yeah. So I was like, okay, let's get back in with Mike. And the first day we wrote together, we did Angel of My Dreams with Pablo and Steph Jones. And I think that was one of those sessions where just like the stars aligned, and I'd had a really rubbish morning. Like the head of the label had just left, and I was freaking out about that. And I was like, I hate this industry.
In my head.
Yeah, in my head.
That you didn't need.
I didn't want to go to this session. I was like, the only reason I went was because like Pablo, my friend, was also there, and I didn't want to let him down. And because I'd stopped caring at that point, that's when I wrote like arguably one of my best songs.
Well, where in the process, where was your mind at when you gave us FUFN?
FUFN.
I mean, listen, we've already dropped the F-bomb. Fuck you for now. We've already said it in this conversation. But yeah, where
I do like
was
to
your
swear.
heart at that particular time where you were like, I just need to get this off of my chest?
So that was, I was writing with Ray. So
Yeah.
I've done a bunch with her. And again, she's one of those people that when I'm in the room with them, feels super safe. She understands that balance she gets it. Songwriter, being personal, but being a pop artist. She just gets it. And we were ranting about boys and arguments, and it actually stemmed from like a dream I'd had that my boyfriend had cheated on me, and I woke up in the morning like,
are you one of those that, hey, this is what you did to me?
Yeah, but I have to try not to be toxic and try not to like hate them all day. So I was like, okay, instead of doing that, I'll write this down in my notes and I'll bring that into a song, and that's why there was the FU for now.
For now. Okay.
But then when I got in the studio with Ray, we kind of bounced off each other, and it became more about which is very real, like an argument with a partner or a friend, when it's like you can't stand them in that moment, but you don't want to say bye forever. You're just like, and I feel like that is more realistic.
It's super realistic, super relatable. I've been on the receiving end of that, and I've also given a little bit of that energy to my girlfriend.
I feel like there's so many songs out there that are like breakup songs, or like this is the end, and I wanted one that was like, this is the end, just kidding.
Just until Tuesday, because I like tacos.
Exactly. So that was the vibe with FUFN. But I love that song, and doing it live is so fun.
Listen, the proper segue. Not only were you doing it live, talking headlining this big ass weekend.
I know.
I mean, radio. That's such a bucket list show for me to make my way over across.
Oh,
and see
it's so amazing.
The big weekend. What did that feel like to step out onto that stage and see legions of people who were there, ready to support you more than anything?
Yeah, I was like freaking out all day because it was my first ever solo show.
Damn.
And it was a headline slot in the tent. And I was like, oh my God, is nobody going to be there? Is anyone going to know the music? Like, I was freaking out all day. And then I couldn't even see the crowd because I rise up in this lift, right? Obviously me, extra. I'm like, let me bring a lift to the festival stage.
Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and just fall out of a trapdoor at the Brits, and then I'm going to come on a lift at this big-ass weekend.
There's always something. I think I'm addicted to that at the minute, actually. I'm addicted to doing something really scary each show to kind of get rid of the rest of the nerves.
I like that attitude, fam.
So I didn't get to see the audience. I was hiding in this lift, and then when I rose for the first song and just saw this sea of people all that knew like the words to my songs, I was like, oh my gosh, the adrenaline rush was crazy. My little knees were knocking. I was like, I'm gonna fall down the stairs. I was like, what do I do with this adrenaline? And just from then on out, I was like, okay, I've arrived. I'm home. This is it. This is what I love to do. It was so special. The response was amazing. The crowd were amazing.
Well, prior to this conversation here, we were talking about how, I love to bounce around and to see shows abroad and wherever I can, and to be, that calm in the storm, or to be that little bit of support. In just a couple of weeks, set to be at Wembley effing, stadium, for another, but the thing is that, I want to let you know, and I have told you for the, over 10 years, over a decade that we've known each other, like we've grown up together, that we are there as fans of yours because you have been so true to who you are. And when you rise up from a lift, don't ever think that there's not going to be a person there to support you, because, it's been like that for you and the girls since day one. And that's just a beautiful thing, that you give us your all when you are below there, knees not. We're there for you, dude. And I'll be there for you.
Thank
Serious
you.
business.
No, that means the world. And, I do really put my heart and soul into, all of this, because I just feel like I was born to do this. Like, not to sound like cheese on toast, but Like, I love every part of it.
Yeah.
So for it to be like so well received and supported, and to know that I've got a fan base or supporters around me that, you know, they are there every step of the way, it makes it all worthwhile, doesn't it? It makes it makes it manageable. And
has there been, as we put a ribbon on this conversation, has there been a place yet on the planet that you are still most excited to visit, to give your all? Haven't been?
I'd love to do a world tour. I don't care what capacity it is. I don't care. I just want to do it. I want to do like huge American TV performances. I want to tour America. Like, I feel like I have to fly that button, not just for me, but for the girls as well, because it's the one thing we never really got the chance to do properly. We supported other artists and we did the rounds doing that. And it's still something that the fans talk about to this day. They're like, you know, that tour that never was. So I feel like I have to do it now.
Yeah.
Like, I have to know that that I've ticked that off the list.
We'll manifest that and know that we'll be there to support. And if I'm not there to see all of the shows, I'll be there to babysit, because there's a particular person who's going to need a little assistance now, you know?
I think eventually, yeah.
But no, it'll be a situation that when it does come to fruition, we will definitely be there. But for now, it's you. That's showbiz, baby. It's all capital. I wrote it here. Again, it's
all capitals, no comma, which is still upsetting me, but it's okay.
Was that a mistake before you turned it in and then you realized afterwards? Or?
We went back and forth about it. I was like, it kind of does need a comma, but it's kind of like ruining the vibe a bit.
Yeah.
And just having like bold capital letters. So I literally went, right, okay, no comma. And then my boyfriend messaged me when it got announced and was like, there's no comma. And I was like, shut up!
F you for now.
Yeah.
Like, Jordan, bro, this is exactly why.
Not now. So, but no, we love it. I think it's the perfect title for this album and just my life and, you know, being a part of the industry for so long. That is showbiz, baby.
It's showbiz, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, man, and I'm here for it. Consider my ticket already purchased, homie. Like,
thank you.
Every single bit of the showbiz. Can we give her a round of applause, please? Wherever the cameras are, you are a dear friend for life. Thank you, Jade.
Thank you.
Oh, my God. Yeah. That is